is Jeremiah Johnson. Jeremiah, what do you see coming?
You know, Sid, I had a dream at the beginning of 2019 where I was escorted into the White House. And as I walked into the White House, I realized that I had an appointment with Donald Trump. I walked into his office, and when I walked into his office, he was staring in the mirror. And it really shook me because who looked back at him was Abraham Lincoln. And as I recognized this, Donald Trump went and sat back behind his desk. And I said, Donald, I'm here to reveal to you the principalities that you're facing in America that must be torn down. And there was a large window behind him, and I ripped back the curtain, and there were three large principalities on the White House lawn, standing about 40 feet tall. The first principality was the principality of racism. God said it is an ancient evil in America that must be torn down. The next principality was called radical feminism. It was a woman with horns coming out of her head. The third principality was the god of Molech. It is the shedding of innocent blood, the feeding of and the Lord said to me, all three of these principalities are interconnected. There's a connection between abortion, how we are placing Planned Parenthoods strategically in African American demographics and neighborhoods. I believe to support Planned Parenthood is to support racism. Then we have this whole.
By the way, I don't know if you've studied the history of Planned Parenthood, but it was developed by a woman by the name of Sanger because she didn't want the African American community to be large.
That's right.
Most people don't know this.
She founded what was called the Negro Project, which God has called me to expose. So I came out of this dream with these three principalities, but even more than that, Sid, I was invited into this divine dialogue about Donald Trump and the mystery of Abraham Lincoln. And as I studied the life of Abraham Lincoln and the founding fathers, I believe God revealed to me that he raised up Abraham Lincoln in a unique time in history. He was a flawed man, but what God used him to do was to issue an emancipation proclamation concerning the slaves. I believe that God has raised up Donald Trump to issue an emancipation proclamation concerning the millions of babies that have been aborted. And here's the key. Who holds the anointing? The Lord said to me, the future of America is in the hands of the baby boomers. Said, I want to prophesy.
What age are the baby boomers?
If you were born between 1946 and 1964, God began to show me this demographic of people has been anointed by the Lord, carrying a true heart. The Lord said to me, it will be the gray hairs and the white hairs that will determine the future of America. God has raised up Trump to confront and to issue an emancipation proclamation. So I believe that baby boomers for Trump are going to arise in this nation. They have a standard of morality. They understand the history of our country. And as a millennial, Sid, I'm just here as a son to say, go, baby boomers, go.
What is God's plan for America? What is his heart for our country?
I believe God's heart is to prosper us, to give us peace. I just simply believe there has to be a plumb line. There has to be a standard of righteousness that the people might discern evil from good and good from evil. I had a dream, Sid, where Donald Trump was running something like a Boston Marathon, and he had fallen down before the finish. And the crowds, Boston, they were liberal, they were yelling, they were shouting. And as I watched two older women, one on a cane and one on a walker, they made it through the crowds, and somehow supernaturally they picked up Donald and they helped him get to the finish line. And God is saying to me, the future of America, again, those women, they represent the praying church, but they're the baby boomers. This election is not in the bag. We've got to have the boomers arise and pray. There's going to be supernatural praying going on, but the future of America, I believe, is bright, but we have to get back to the place of prayer.